Welcome to Sigma Tech Consult Limited. Today we shall be talking about uses of wood and metals. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to state common uses of wood, explain some specific uses of ferrous and non-ferrous metals and their alloys. Sit back as we navigate through the class. Now, in the primitive time, in the Stone Age, people use materials that are available to them to solve their basic needs, to provide shelter for themselves, to provide food, provide clothing for themselves. Because those materials they find around them, they are the things available. Because the basic needs of man must be met. So in the olden and primitive times, people make use of wood for several things around them. Some make use of wood in terms as medicine. The root of woods can be used, for medicine to cure different ailments before science innovations began to come. All right, so that way, some people took their food from wood, mango, for example, all of that. But today, we want to specifically discuss the uses of wood as technologists, as what it has to be done in technology and in engineering. So we want to look at different ways wood can be used in today's world. All right, number one is that wood can be used in building construction. Today, almost all roofs in Nigeria, the skeleton or the trusses of the roof is made of a wood. I know that we can use metal for roofing and for building construction, but we have wood specifically. Almost all roofs today, like we see on the screen, they are made up of wood. The skeleton is of wood. During building construction, you want to do the skeleton of your parapet, for example. You want to do a design, a mold of your parapet. It is still wood you use for such building construction. Some people who also undertake a kind of improvised scaffolding, Some people make use of bamboos for scaffolding in building construction. All these things are different ways wood can be used in building constructions. For example, even the bottom of a deck, let's say you want to cast your decking, the bottom you have to use wood, for example, to construct the bottom before you can cast. All right, you have to do a kind of support to whatever you are doing. Your rafters, they are made up of wood. So wood can be used in different ways in building construction. Also in furniture making, wood can be used in furniture making. The tables we have in our offices are made up of wood, mostly, right? The bookshelves in our libraries, the bookshelves in our personal libraries, the upholsteries, the cushion chairs that we have, the center tables in our rooms, they are all made from wood. So we can also use wood for furniture making. It's important we take note of these things that wood can be used for. Okay, so wood can be used in furniture making. These days, we have different furnitures. When you see them, you don't even know that they are made up of wood because of how skillful the people making use of the wood, how they are, the things they can form from wood. So wood can be used in furniture making. We also use wood today for packaging. Most delicate or important goods are packaged using wood. We have crates that are made up of wood. Crates used for bottles, right? I mean, bottle crates. It can be designed using a wood. Apart from plastic, it can be designed using wood. Now, this is for packaging. Most of the times you have to see imported goods, for example, batteries for our solar electricity now coming to Nigeria. It comes with this kind of package. So most delicate things that you want, you can package them in these boxes and delivered to any part of the world you wish to deliver them. That is one of the things we can use wood for packaging. So wood is used for packaging. Because I need you to, pay attention to what we are saying. Wood can also be used for construction of joints. Previously in my video, we've discussed different types of joints that we have, wood joints. So this one is just a boot joint there, a lap joint, so to say, which is a type of butt joint. Is that okay? So wood can be used for making of joints. You can use wood for making mortises, for example. You can use them for making other forms of joints, like the dovetail joints that we have. We also have other joints like that, okay? Yes, you can use wood to make bridle joints. So basically, we'll make use of wood in joint construction. So if you wish to form any shape and you wish to join pieces of wood together, yes, wood can be used for such purpose. All right. Now, also, wood can also be used in transportation. In transportation, the back of lorries, the one we call 911 in Nigeria, because that Mercedes-Benz is Mercedes 911. The back of lorries that we use for transporting yam from the northern part of the country to other regions there, or maybe other agricultural products, call it tomatoes, call it plantain, potato. The back of lorry there is constructed using wood. This time around is hardwood, the wood that can last for a long period of time without the back falling off on the road. Okay, so you can see that we can use wood in transportation like this. If you also look at in rails, for example, in rail construction, when we want to fix two rails, the joint there, we have wood attached to it so that the rail lines can be laid for trains to, actually train on them so that it doesn't skid or it doesn't get derailed in the process. We can also make use of wood in the area of pulp and paper. Now, all the papers we make use of, they are all made from wood. So industrially, we can have pulp. You can see what we have there, pulp production, right, and paper. So wood can be used to manufacture all papers used today. In our offices, we make use of paper, different sizes of paper. Those of you in technical drawing, you are drawing paper, which is made from wood. And so many other papers we use today. In short, without wood, we don't have offices run effectively, regardless of how they have been digitalized. But we still need paper to sign memorandum of understanding. We still need paper to do so many things in the offices. Tissue papers that are used for sanitary purposes, they are made from paper. So those are the things, we can use paper for. This one is in paper. We can use wood for, that's for paper and pulp production. We can also use wood for to make electrical poles. Apart from the concrete electrical poles or even the metallic electrical poles, wood here can also be used for that purpose. Wood being a very good insulator of electricity, you see here, right, can be used for transmission lines. All right, yeah, so when we have this, maybe in your local cities, you can see people using wooden poles to transmit electricity to their various homes. So wood can be used for such purpose. We also have other uses of wood. In this case, this can be used for sculpture and carvings. You can see what we have in this picture, right? If you don't look at it closely, you will think it's something else you're looking at. That's wood there you're seeing. That's a carving. That's a carving you're seeing. Also, if you visited some museums or you visited certain resorts, you'll see a lot of carvings of wood that, if you're not careful, you'll think you're seeing humans. So wood can also be used for such purposes. Artifacts are made of wood. Yes, most idols that we see in shrines, they are carved from wood. Sometimes you see the male and female idol, they are all carved from wood. So those are the things we can use wood for. So you can also say that wood is used as an object of worship. So you're not wrong if you say that. Yeah, it's one of the things we use wood for, especially in this part of the world, Africa. Now, we also need wood for various heavy constructions, like in the construction of canoe, right? We need wood for such. I hope you know that we can use that for transportation too. Canoe here is made from wood, and so on and so forth. Wood, the use of wood they are enormous. We can also use wood for making the handles of implements. Implements here include implements like cutlass, the shear, for example, the hoe, sometimes even an axe. The handle can be made of wood. Okay, so those are areas we can, use wood for. In terms of the handles of certain implements, a cutlass there, the handle is made of wood. If you have seen this agricultural implement they call go to hell, the handle is made of wood. The sickle too is made of wood. So wood can be used for all of that. We also have other uses of wood, like in manufacture of production of manufactured boards, like what we have there, the veneer, the plywood. Okay, that you're seeing there is a manufactured board. Now, when we have wood cut into slices, they can be used when they are, when they are gummed or glued together. They can be used for that purpose here as a manufactured board. In this way, they can be used for construction of so many things that we have, okay, that we have today as furnitures. We can also use wood in sports. Most sport equipment that we have, they are made from wood. This is a tennis bat here you're seeing is made from wood. Some hockey sticks too, they are made from wood. Okay, most javelins that you see, we have some of them that are made from wood. So wood can also be used as fuel. I've told you previously that anything that can burn is fuel. So we can use wood in terms of firewood, in charcoal making, and all of that. Wood can be used for that, as charcoal, as firewood, basically, to produce heat and to cook our food too. So wood can be used as fuel, charcoal for certain industrial purposes. All right, there are other uses of wood that may include in medicine, like I told you before. Some wood, all right, can be used as medicine. We have today alternative medicine. So many people are going back to alternative medicine. They say, use this bark of this wood, use this cut of this wood, use this wood, that wood, this wood, soak it in dry gin for 5 days and drink it. It can cure ulcer, can cure hypertension and all of that. So certain wood are medicinal, certain plants are medicinal. So we can use wood as medicine. Oil from the wood can be used can be used so too. We have people make use of different oils, olive oil, neem oil, and all of that for different facials. Okay, we can also have dyes produced from wood. We have wood that has different colors. So if these colors are harvested, all right, and processed, they can be used as dyes. They can be used for different purposes. Toothpicks we use today after meal in restaurants to actually pick out the remains from your teeth. They are made from wood. The matchsticks today, even some lignin plastics, are all products of wood. All right, now there are reasons why we have a widespread of use of wood today. Number one is because the wood is available. It's something you can see around you. You don't need to travel miles before you can see wood. It's available. Something you can see. It's cheap to acquire when compared to metals and other materials. Wood is cheap, right? It's cheap. You can work on it so easily without, overstressing yourself. You can work on wood with ease without having to bore yourself out. All right, and also wood is a non-conductor of heat. Okay, so these and many other reasons are the reason we have the widespread of wood, the widespread use of wood today. Okay, and also wood has good acoustic properties. Yes, many woods today have been carved or used to produce different instruments for making music. We have the wooden gong and all of that people can actually strike and produce sound for different things, for different communities, and even to make music for commercial purposes and even in churches. Okay, so let's look at metal, uses of metal. We've discussed properties of metal in my previous videos about properties of materials. Please, I will recommend the video that you watch them concerning the wood, concerning metals, plastics, and other materials that we have, rubber and ceramics. We've discussed that in our previous video. So today, we want to look at uses of metals. It's important we talk about it. Now, we want to streamline the uses of this metal according to the type of metal and the percentage of carbon content in the metal. Please, I need you to follow me. I will tell you what that is. Now, we have a metal we call ferrous metals. I've told you before that metals are subdivided into two. We have ferrous metals and non-ferrous metals. Ferrous metals are those metals that contain iron in them. They contain iron in them, therefore they are magnetic. So let's look at their uses. For example, cast iron, right? The iron that is made from casting. Let's find out uses of cast iron. When we were discussing properties of metal, I told you about this cast iron. It has a property of being brittle. It's hard though, but it's brittle. It's one of the most brittle metal we have. It's cast iron. If it falls on the ground, it breaks like ceramic. Okay. Now, this cast iron can be used in making of the engine cylinder blocks of vehicle. For example, this is the engine block you are seeing here. Okay. This is made from cast iron. You can see different labels on it, where we have the coolant, where the coolant passes and all of that. We don't want to delve into that basically for now. Just know that the engine block that we have for our vehicles, they are made from cast irons and they are ferrous metals. The sink covers are things we can make from ferrous metals like cast iron. The machine tools, tables, the piston rings. I know you may have seen the rings of piston. If you if you are not skillful in fixing the piston and the rings in the piston, you will keep buying rings, because any little pressure or force on it, it breaks. Although it's metallic, because it's made from cast iron. Now, devices of devices we use, they are made from ferrous metals. I hope you know what a device is. A device is a holding tool that we use to hold materials on a workbench before they can be worked on. Let's say you want to cut a metal, for example, you can use a device to hold them, right? All you need to do is to hold it and then work on whatever you want to work on. Some machine bodies are made from cast irons. So marking out tables, because when you are in metal work tools, we also have a table we call a marking out table. It's metallic. That is where you mark out your work. Every work you want to do, that's the table that you do the job on, all right? So all of these are different ways or different uses of ferrous metal and cast iron. These are different products that we can have from them, all right? Now, we also have another type of ferrous metals that we now grade them according to their carbon content. You know, any metal that has a high carbon content, we call them high carbon steel, because when you have an iron with carbon, that is called a steel. So steel is actually an alloy of carbon and iron. So the carbon content tells us whether the steel is a high carbon steel or a low carbon steel. Okay, now majority of our cutting tools, they are made from high carbon steels. Okay, so the percentage you're seeing here is percentage of carbon content. So a high carbon steel contains a carbon of 0.6% to 0.9%. All right, so most of our cutting tools are made from high carbon steel. The files, the punches, I've shown you that before. The drill shares, the axes, they are all made from high carbon steel. All right, we also have the screwdrivers, the hacksaw blade, which is what you are seeing on the screen here. The hacksaw blade is what you're seeing. It's made up of high carbon steel. The knives and the reamers, the scriber. Scriber is an instrument used for marking points on metals. The name scriber is used for writing on metal. To scribe means to write. So that particular device we use for making marks on metals are called scribers. So, you know, they are not soft metal. They are strong metals, all right? So they can actually be used to make marks on the surface of a metal. Okay, we also have the medium steel carbon. This carbon content in this medium steel carbon, it ranges from 0.3% to 0.6%. Please take note of these values I'm giving you. These medium carbon steels are used in production of nails, hammers like you see on the screen, the screws, the spring, tensile wires, and bicycle rims are all products of medium carbon steel. Remember, don't forget the percentage of carbon like I've told you. For high carbon steel, they range from 0.6 to 0.9% carbon. For medium carbon steel, they range from 0.3% to 0.6% carbon, and the products from this kind of steel are underlisted. Okay, now we also have another kind of steel we call a low carbon steel, that's 0.1 to 0.3% carbon. Now, this particular steel, a low carbon steel, they are used in production of bolt and nut. Of course, you know what bolt and nut is. They are used in production of this mechanical fastener we call the rivets. This is what we call the rivets. In case you have not seen it before, this is what is it. They are mechanical fasteners, right? When you want to fasten maybe car bodies, for example, you can use it for that purpose. Now, we also use low carbon steels in making car bodies. We use them in making bridges and house building. Wires and roll sheets are all products of low carbon steel. All right. Now, We also want to talk about other ferrous metals like the wrought iron. Wrought iron. Please take note of what we're saying. The steel you have there is a ferrous metal. Cast iron is a ferrous metal. Wrought iron is a ferrous metal. All right. Don't worry. When in my video, all right, my subsequent videos about processing of metals, we're going to talk about cast iron, wrought iron, pig iron, and why they are named what they are named. Why is it called wrought iron? Why is it called pig iron? Why is it called cast iron? We're going to talk about that in the next video. All right, wrought iron, like we have, they are specifically used in the production of crane hooks. You understand? Okay, the boiler plate, chairs that we use, the iron chairs we use, the welding fittings, the barbed wires. This one is what you are conversant with. Almost all homes today in Nigeria have a barbed wire. That's for security, and it's really a tough wire. For security purposes, we have the barbed wires. We have the welding fittings like you've seen on the screen. They are all products of wrought iron. Okay. Now, we also want to look at uses of non-ferrous metals. Non-ferrous metals are these metals that don't have iron in them, and they are not magnetic. They cannot be attracted to a magnet. Example is copper. Copper is a non-ferrous metal. All right. So copper, because of the way it looks, its bright color, and its conductivity, coppers are basically used for manufacturing of cables and wires for electrical installations. So most wires you see today are copper wires because of their high conductivity. Now, because of their color too, they can be used as ornaments. We can use copper to make ornaments. We can use them for beautification in different areas. All right, like we see on the screen here, you can see different wires. These are copper wires. This is also a fold of wire, right? This is also wire too, a coil of wire. This is a copper wire. All right, we also have other non-ferrous metals like aluminum too is an example. Aluminum is used in cooking utensils. Cooking utensils are made from aluminum, mostly because aluminum is a good conductor of heat. Okay, so most cooking utensils, like we have this set support here, they are all made from aluminum. Drink cans are made from aluminum. Today, people are going around to actually gather aluminum because gather drink cans because the metal it's made up of is aluminum. It's something that can give you money, you know. Now, some engine parts are made of aluminum. Even most engine blocks are made from aluminum too. All right. Now, most conductors we have, electrical conductors are made from aluminum. Aluminum because they are good conductors too of both heat and electricity. We have other non-ferrous metals like zinc, for example. Zinc is used in production of nails. We have zinc nails. We have roofs. This one is what we are conversant with. You know, before now, we used to think that every roof is made up of zinc. We can also use aluminum for roofing sheets. All right, you should take note of that too. So, what we have is zinc roofs. Those corrugated roofs that we have are made of zinc. Okay, zinc can also be used for roofs. Most roofs we have, corrugated roofing sheets we have, they are made of zinc. Zinc can be used for tanks. Storage tanks that we have in silos. In most localities, maybe across the express, we have national silos made of zinc. Zinc can also be used in batteries as electrodes. Yes. All right. In our batteries, zinc can be used as electrodes in the batteries. All right. Tin. Tin is another non-ferrous metal. In this case, because of the color of tin and its resistance to corrosion, zinc is used for coating food containers. right? Zincs, they don't corrode. They resist corrosion. So they are used in coating food containers. They are used in making cans like you're having on the screen here. This is tomato can. A lot of tomato can, milk cans are all coated with tin. We have also tin plates. The plate sheets, wires are coated with tin for different purposes so that they cannot corrode in the process. All right, we also have some alloys of non-ferrous metals. Alloy simply means a blend or a mixture of two or more metals in different proportions. We call them alloys. They exhibit most properties that their parent metals may not have. Okay, so for example, duralumin here is an alloy of aluminum and copper and manganese. So you can see there it's 95% aluminum, 4% copper, and 1% manganese. So duralumin is the chief material used for making bodies of aircraft. So duralumin is that metal that is used for making the bodies of aircraft. We can also use duralumin in making our doors. Most profiles we have today, they are duralumin. Window frames are duralumin. Even car or vehicle parts are made from duralumin. Okay. Also, brass. Brass, for example, is made up of zinc and copper. So brass is an alloy of zinc and copper. Please take note of this. The components of this alloy, right? Take note of them. For duralumin, we'll say it is copper, it is aluminum, it is manganese. Please take note. For brass, brass is made up of zinc and copper, 65% copper and 35% zinc. So brass, because of their color, they are used for making decorative items, just like tin too. Tin is also used for decorating too, right? Yes. Now they also use in ammunitions, like in making of bullets. Okay, a brass is used in ammunition, in plumbing fittings, for making electrical appliances. We can have brass, and so many other places we can use brass. Now bronze is also an alloy of tin and copper. Bronze is 10% tin and 90% copper. Most statues we have today are made from bronze. So bronze is also used in making carvings, statues, plaques, ornaments. The ship propeller, the gears of vehicles, some machine parts are made from bronze. Please take note of these things. The ship propeller, bronze are used in carvings. Some machine parts are made from bronze. Okay, that is the size of the class. Now, I want to take you to our app, the ExamGuide app. Like I've told you before, that this is the app I strongly recommend for every student that is in the basic secondary schools, basic 1, basic 2, basic 3. This is the app for you. If you want to actually do well in your subjects, I recommend this app for you to use them. Okay, let's practice some questions and see how this app can be used for such. Number 12 said, tin is generally used for A, decorative purposes, B, manufacturing aircraft parts, C, producing roofing sheets, D, producing water pipes, E, protective coating on metals. Actually, E is the answer because of the fact that tin is resistant to corrosion. So when you coat metals with tin, they don't easily corrode. So they last for a while. They last for a longer time before we can begin to have dents on them. So basically, we use tin to protect our metals. We use tin to coat metals so that they will not corrode. So option E is the right option there. Okay, so brass is an alloy made up of 35% zinc and -% copper. Of course, that's supposed to be 65% copper. That is the answer. Okay, thank you and see you.